Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of DFN. And so we're still on with the comparison of project management versus marriage. And so far, we've gone through the initiation stage, the project initiation stage, which involves developing a project charter and then identifying your stakeholders. And so we've compared that with marriage and how it fits in. So today we're starting with the planning process. Before you run any project at all, you need to plan it. And same way in marriage as well, you will need to plan your marriage before you get married. Now, how do you plan your marriage? Basically, you are looking at what kind of resources you have, what kind of risk each of you presents, and you want to ascertain if that could fit into the grand scheme of things. And so that's what you basically consider during your planning. You will look at what kind of resources you all bring on board, what kind of risk you bring on board, and plan responses for those risks. For example, you also look at what kind of quality of life you want to have in your marriage. You also want to look at what kind of budget you're going to run your marriage on. For example, you should plan how much you intend to spend, say, in a month, in a year, and then how much you intend to save. Then that, by extension, translates to what you can do with your savings together. And you also get to plan the kind of resources you want to acquire in your marriage. You want to understand the kind of procurement you want to do in your marriage. For example, if you want to buy a house, maybe year 3, you want to look at that. So all those goes into planning your marriage. Now, one key thing I want to point out is that we sometimes make the mistake of planning marriage ceremonies instead of marriage itself. Now, in comparing it to project management, there is what is called the project kickoff meeting. So it's at this project kickoff meeting that you get to, as it were, formally start executing the project. Now, in the marriage context, this project kickoff meeting is what we call the marriage ceremony, or the traditional marriage ceremony, or if it's a church wedding or whatever, whichever way you go about it. Now, what we should note is that this shouldn't take all the effort, all the energy. It's just a kick-off meeting and nothing else. You should have spent all your energy planning life after that kickoff meeting. And don't spend a lot of time planning that kickoff meeting, because it's just a short ceremony and the real project execution starts after that. So in the same way, the real marriage starts after that ceremony. And so you get people, going for loans, going to all lengths to organize a very huge ceremony. Very unnecessary. What really matters is the direct effort you put into planning to check if you guys can live together, you guys have assessed all the risk factors. It could be health, it could be habits that have been acquired over time, and whether you can live with them and all. And so, in summary, your marriage ceremony is just your project kickoff meeting and nothing else. And so we should spend more time planning the details or the details that goes into the marriage itself, and not just that kickoff meeting. And we'll talk more about this in the next episode. Always remember that no two relationships are the same. Catch you later. Cheers.